Good morning, YouTube. We're back. We're back. We're back. Back for part two. Part two of Morning Live. Did a pop up about a couple of hours ago. Brother was dying. Hey, brother still dying. But hey, we're making it happen. I stopped over and got to figure something out, but I think it's time to go back on full blown keto because I do get energy. I do get energy. I've just been putting it off, acting like I'm a normal old fart. And the keto actually helps. It helps with my stomach. The energy that I get, and I need to get back into the intermittent fasting. I don't know why I get scared. Like, oh my God, I'm gonna die from not eating. Ah! I sound like a daggone idiot, and this is what I be doing to myself. No, you need to eat right now. And since there's no food cooked, you need to eat some junk food. And what do? There I go. Munchy, munchy, munchy. But the difference between 2 hours ago and now, folks are waking up. The normal drivers are waking up. It's not for the early and or faint of heart folks to get out here. But we're out here down to an hour and a half, or actually 2 hours, which is, hey, I'm good with it because that means that I will at least be on the road and not have to check in. I don't like to do my lives while I'm trying to check in, and I'm not I'm not interacting with the masses like I should. But I'm being consistent. We're being consistent, but that's okay. That's okay. Before, brother, I'm trying my best to stay away from the bidding this morning because I want at least one of those, at least one. I hate giving one of the salvage mowers that's going up for auction today, but when you add it up, if I can't get a good amount, I'm not going to make a profit. I'm not. Only reason I would using it is for videos, and that's really it. That's the only reason why I'm not making a profit. Because if you look at it, you see, I can't seem to get nothing lower than two. Uh, it depends if nobody wants it, but it's usually around 300. Then I gotta pay an internet fee. Then I gotta pay an auction fee. Then I gotta pay. That's how they get you. So that 300 goes to like 400. Then I got to drive 400 miles round trip to get the damn thing. So that all adds up to the point when I sold my John Deere, my John Deere E Cut hybrid. I kind of I sold it for I think 700. I kind of broke even, you know, and that's okay because I it needed to go. It 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 wasn't going. It needed to go somewhere where someone's going to be able to use it and have fun with it. And that, I needed to understand that. Right now, I'm just looking to get a lawn. Period. I'm gonna start looking if for February on. Every time I come home, I'm gonna get a load of dirt delivered to the backyard so I can start delivering and even the yard up, especially in the front. Also, I'd like to even up the yard in the front. Oh, sorry, I got the blinker on. But these these are the things that I'm trying to get back to the grassroots of my channel, which is it still is lawn care, even though the season is even the winter, the not the winter, but the northern grass season is almost over, and everything's going dormant right now. It's going dormant, um, and it just breaks my heart because I love grass, I love cutting, I love mowing, and blah blah blah. But I'm going to figure something out. We're going to figure it out. We're going to get back to that, and we're going to get back to a few other things, which is our cruising and our traveling. Um, I've been blessed to have a wonderful group, a wonderful group, and I'm hoping that we're going to have fun on the way and in Louisiana, and I know we are. I know we are. So that's next on. What the heck, really? It's acting all crazy. That's next on the list of priorities. But I'm hoping Santa Claus brings me I asked for a vlogger camera that has like a microphone on it. So I'm hoping that Santa Claus will bring that this year. Um, it's just fun. It's fun trying. I used to get frustrated. Now I get excited. I'm moving up to the next level. When I get off of here, I'm start recording some driving videos and adding some music to the shorts and stuff like that, and working on enunciation and telling folks, welcome to my abode, welcome to my channel, welcome to this, welcome to that. Also, I'm gonna start buying some more stuff for my garage slash man cave. I'm gonna start working on that wall to finish, putting up some sheetrock, and then we've got a flat screen TV that's just been leaning against the wall downstairs, and I'm gonna put it up so that when I'm sitting outside and I'm close enough, I can actually watch. I can watch some YouTube or watch my own videos. I'm just saying. And when I'm playing around in my garage, we also I'm gonna start painting the house. Certain things that need to be painted, like around the doors and the windows and the shingles and stuff like that. That's weather has came in and weather and Father Time has came in and totally, beat down. But I need to, prep myself to be able to get it and get into it and just get it done. Um, that's next. I mean, next or wherever on the list of priorities for what we got to get done and handled. So that's going to get taken care of. And I just realized my pay week's going to be short because I'm going away to Louisiana, but I got some money coming. I sold some of my company's stocks, so that's what I'm going to do with that money. And I just got to figure out the other part. Ugh, if it's not one thing, it's another. You know, if it's not one thing, it's another. But but I think that I'm happy and okay with that part of my life that I have to figure out and adjust, and that's okay. I'm gonna figure out. I just have to figure out how this gonna get paid, how that gonna get paid, and we gonna do it. Why? Cause I ain't got no choice. We gonna do it because I remember before 9 years ago that I lived a miserable existence, and I like the existence that I'm living now. One of the things I like to do is go back to Las Vegas. I think it's time to go back to Las Vegas. That was one that was one of the places that we first went when we started dating, and I'd like to go back because Vegas, you don't even have to gamble to have fun in Vegas because they got those stores that that stuff's expensive. 'Cause one, there ain't no price tag on it, and like it's a barren store with like four or five things hanging on the shelf, like four or five jackets, and that's it. And it's Armani or Gucci or whatever. And see, this is what cracks me up about that. Those places are made for poor folks that want to show the world that they got money. You tell me, I'm sorry, even if, say, if I was a millionaire or a billionaire or a thousandaire, I would say that. Say if I was a thousandaire, all right, they got certain like Gucci, whatever suitcase sets or tens of thousands of dollars. So I paid tens of thousands of dollars for a Gucci suitcase and a Gucci chest that I'm taking out. You think I'm gonna let your behind, you know, chuck it onto and because that's what they do. It comes off a conveyor belt, and I'm gonna let you chuck my $10,000 Gucci suitcase and throw it in it, it's made of the same quality as another suitcase. It's just got Gucci plastered all over it. Or do you know that half of that stuff that's made, those name brand things, they're made at a sweatshop somewhere in Manhattan somewhere. You know that somewhere in freaking Manhattan, or I think somewhere in Manhattan. And I'm not gonna say who, but I know a certain person they picked up some for the low, and it's the same thing. See, because if you when you look at it, the ones that got the money, real millionaires, they're trying to keep. They got the money. They're trying to keep the money. They have the option of spending the money, but they're trying to keep it. They're not really flaunting that money around. They're not really flaunting. They know they got it. Look at Jay-Z. He had all that gold and all this other stuff. Now, suit jacket. plain black shirt, plain whatever, but you know he got billions. Think about it. You got you got you got women is my engagement ring needs to be it needs to have what 7 carats and all this crazy number. Look, let you sit here and I buy you a $40,000 ring and you tell me it's over. I'm cutting your finger off. And I ain't a violent person. You giving me that damn ring back. Sorry. But we don't covet money like the ones that have it. And then it becomes old money. But here's what we do. Oh, grandma, I love you, I love you, I love you. As soon as grandma gone and she leave you the house, sell that motherfucker. Sell that damn thing. Because we don't know how to hold on to money. We don't know how to handle money. I wish I would, I wish I wish you would. You got some people that rent out. This is a guy somewhere in California. He rented out his home and for what's that, VRB or whatever, and the person never left, never paid him. I wish you would. I wish you would. I don't care what the police say. I'm putting your behind out my house, especially if I own it, you know. But see, we look at stuff. This is why I was telling my wife. I said, look, I ain't the smartest puppy on I'm not the smartest puppy on the planet. But let me win that Mega Millions or that Powerball. Oh, well, we'll blow 10 million. Yeah, yeah. You blow your half, I split it up. 250 million for me, 250 for you. You do whatever you want with yours, but guess what? I'm going back to school. I'm going back to school to learn. I'm hiring a tutor to teach me. I'm going back to college to learn how to keep that money and how to make that money bigger. Something just that simple. Like right now, I don't know what I'm doing, but I know one thing. I deliver. I'm on the route right now, and I'm gonna buy more stocks in Kellogg. I have like 4 or 5 shares of Kellogg. Start buying a whole lot more. I got 20 or 30 shares of not Royal but Norwegian. I got 320 shares of Carnival because guess what? I use Carnival all the time. I forgot. I need to get a copy of that, that shows that I own those shares, and I got to send it to Carnival. You got to send it to Carnival every time, and I get like $100. I get like $100 credit. Hey, Charles, you missed it. I did a pop up earlier where I was freaking dying. I'm like dying now, but everybody and their mama waking up, so I got to wake up with them. You know what I mean? But I was it was just something that I was just thinking about that, and I think I married someone like that because I remember, and you remember when you was there, and I asked on her birthday. I even said this up. I said, you know what? I'm going to ask Norma on her birthday, and then what? Let me see what you say. Well, it's me too, brother. I did a live round too. And Mike was there, and I was just mumbling. They ain't talking about nothing. I was dying. I'm still dying. Hey, but I'm dying with some purpose. But I remember, and I've always told this story. So guess what? Y'all gonna hear it again. I remember all I had was $1,200 for the ring, and 200. I spent 200 for the maintenance package where you can get it cleaned forever or whatever. And boy, that diamond was small. It was small. But she wasn't expecting. She just thought we was gonna be boyfriend and girlfriend. I'm like, I don't know. I didn't say it, but I was thinking. I don't know where you thought that from. Even though we both come from a sucky first marriage, I need to know that it's possible to be in a marriage that actually works. I do remember that. I remember that. And she was so surprised and she was so happy. She was so happy with that ring. Boy, it just swallowed her head up. The reason I said that is there's a TikTok where a woman talks about how much you need to pay for the ring. She said that price don't matter. It could be $50 as long as it symbolizes the commitment to my man. And I remember, and like even now, I don't I don't take my ring off. First marriage, I didn't give a fuck. I even pawned my ring in the first marriage for food, but I don't take this ring off. Only time I had to take it off, I put it on another finger because I almost broke my this finger, and it was so swollen that you'd have had to cut the daggone thing off. And she got mad. I'm like, you get mad all you want. You don't even know how I feel about the subject. So that part of it, I even felt funny that it was on a different ring, a different finger. You know what I mean? And I felt funny about that, and I wasn't happy until my finger, uh, my finger started to come back down, and and those are the things that like you said, when you drive for long periods of time, it's just simple stuff like that just make you be thinking about it. And as we know the story, she's got a nicer ring and blah blah blah. I still got the same ring. I'm happy with mine. I know. Maybe I think I take it and let him buff it out a little bit, but other than that, I'm happy. I'm okay. I'm good. But it's the symbol of the fact, and the thing that I'm saying is, we do this. We always doing something. I'm tired. It's a good thing to be complaining about. I'm tired, but I wouldn't want to change it for the world. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired, but I wouldn't want to change it for the world. It keeps me going. It makes me keep moving to get to the next load, the next load, the next load. You know, and say, well, okay, I can get to here. I can get to here. Get to the next one. Get to the next one. It makes me plan ahead. I got $500 check. That's gonna be my money for next week because I'm gonna have a short week this week, and that's okay. So I don't have to be stressing out when we on our way to Louisiana. Oh, okay, well, how am I gonna pay the bills? I don't know. Yeah, yeah, I do know. I know this is how I'm gonna pay. You know, it's just a part of it. It's just a part of our situation, and figure. Look at all those trucks. I don't know if y'all can see that. Man, all those trucks on the off ramp. That's why even though I'm struggling, like about 20 on the other side. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm looking at 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 on the off ramp. 17. That's crazy. That's crazy. But hey, when you gotta stop, you gotta push as far as you can. I just don't like. My weakness is driving into the night. I just can't do it. Uh, I'm going to drop this load off in about 70 miles, then turn around, go get the next one, and head north. Okay, then head north. Jesus, Jesus, take the wheel. Jesus, help me, Jesus, help me. Oh, you said your ring's on? Well, you need like you be bashing the hell out your ring because you don't just drive. You be on the road mechanic, and you need to get you one of them black rubber band rings or something like that that doesn't get destroyed. And plus your wedding band is more expensive. Mine is like 8 or 900. You know what I mean? I just can't see. I'd be packing like you do. If Norma's ring was like 40 grand, I'm like, nah, man, nah, player. Nah, I see, you ain't walking around with that thing on your finger. I'm just saying that's just me. But I was just thinking, and it just reminded me of what was going, Oh, okay, we're coming in. Everybody waking up now, so we got to slow my roll. I was just thinking about all the stuff that we, all of us, not just me and not just you, but everybody had went through with COVID in the beginning of it, and the fact that some of you idiots voted for this stupid Trump that I mean, and the master of changing up and switching, and the master of telling people, and I know you don't like to talk about. I'm sorry, Mike. I apologize. I know you don't like to talk about politics, but the fact is that we were going through something, and it didn't get thrown out there that that this mess was coming, that we were going to have a major situation. You know what I'm saying? That this mess was coming. I don't know. I made a mistake and highlighted your thing. Sorry about that. That is this was a bad situation. Okay. Let me see something here. Hold on. Okay. And it's so funny. And I was looking at some of the stuff when I was talking about this. It's so funny how this what we went through wasn't the first time it happened. It happened in the 100 years ago. It happened, and you didn't see no one complaining about I'm not gonna wear a mask. I have the right not to wear a mask. And that was the first problem that we were going through. And even back in those days, they were literally saying there was signs that said do not spit on the ground. And this was going on, I think, during World War I, and ships were getting contaminated, and then it was just spreading left and right, and the people were struggling, and people were coming down with this, and it just was getting scary, and the situations that was going on, but you seen people put and wear masks, and it's still, oh, that don't stop nothing, but these people were doing it. And it's funny how we talk about getting your shots. That don't help, and they're just poisoning us, and they're just injecting us. See, this is the foolishness, and it shows you how stupid our society has become. And there's a thing about some school. I don't know if it's in Georgia or whatever. This senior has failed. I mean, I'm exaggerating here. I think it's like 37 classes or something like that. He can't even read, and the mother is blaming the schools. I blame the mama. You didn't check up on your son. You didn't ask him where's your report card, where's your grades. You didn't ask him. You know why? Because these stupid parents, they letting their kids with phones and all this other stuff at 11 years old. I ain't got no phone 11. You know what I had to do? I had to go to a payphone. What's that? That's a thing that you had to walk up to, and close the door and put quarters, dimes, and nickels in for a certain amount of minutes. If I wanted to talk to anybody, that's what you had to do. But we're so stuck on ourselves that we couldn't put our mask on, and we go cruising even now. And we're going cruising in January. I promise you, there's going to be someone not covering their mouth, not doing nothing. And another thing, you look at this one. Just look at the picture and see what you see, and you tell me what I see. I see if I put up the right one because I'm driving. I just set it up so I can just hit it with my finger. But the Caucasian folks got masks on, and they just left the poor black people. They just left the poor black people without the mask. Now just think about looking at that picture, and think about the people that were complaining. I'm not taking the prick. I'm not taking the stick. I'm not doing this, and I'm not doing that. And a good percentage of them fools are dead now. Or if you even survive, you're dealing with long-term complications. Who if someone, and that was the subject. If a historian had comes to talk to you years from now, what would you tell him that you went through? Like me and Charles, we were on the road through this whole thing. I remember, if any of you guys have ever been to New York City, trying to go across the George Washington Bridge, like right now, would be unbelievably ridiculous. I remember driving across the George Washington Bridge, and New York was on lockdown, and there was no one on the road. You think you scared? I was unbelievably horrified. But my military training had taught me one thing: is not to go back to not to not to not to give up, to keep moving forward. But then the propaganda started, where get get the medication that they feed to horses to deworm them. Take the horse medication to deworm them. This wasn't a worm, but people were taking that. Or the ventilators. The rich were buying up all the ventilators across the country. And we were sitting here, this guy's, he's swinging all in the wrong lane or whatever. And we were sitting here trying to figure out, look, I'm broke as heck. How am I going to be able to survive this? And I remember before prepping, preppers were a big thing now. There's a lot of YouTube preppers out there. That was a big thing. I remember I really enjoyed watching shows like, and I remember I said, man, I should get into this. I should get into this. Because I was like, I need to have an emergency, blah, blah, blah. Because see, some of us have been through the mud. Some of us have been in situations where we know how to survive. But our better halves and our loved ones, oh, I'm not eating that. I'm not, I need to wash up. Wait a minute. We only have enough water to last us a week or two. Not a week or two, but a day or so. And everybody was more worried about wiping their ass instead of having food, having water, having protection. But they were more worried. And remember that they went and flooded and took all the toilet paper. And I remember I still got a case of it because my wife said, I'm not putting that on my booty. That's rough. I literally have, I think like 32, 40 rolls of toilet paper because I pulled up to a spot in Chicago, one of our drop yards, and someone had threw it out the back of their truck. Like 3 or 4 cases of toilet paper and cups. We got like a few sleeves left of coffee cups. And I put all that stuff on the top bunk of my truck and took it. We had, if you remember, think about it, go back. We had conservatives. One of them was the CEO of some pizza place, but he worked for down here in Atlanta. He worked for WSB Neil Bortz, is black man. Everything, the Republicans this, Republican that. Guess what? He died of COVID because COVID was fake, but he died of COVID. Do you see what I'm saying? Some of this stuff that you're so stupid to not understand that I don't know if it was polio or smallpox, but back in the day, 100 years ago, you got that. You were going to die. You were going to be what do you call that? Paralyzed or being in an iron lung. But oh no, you can't have the vaccine. I'm not taking the prick because that's going to kill us. Okay. Remember those people that said that? Half of them are dead, or half of them are with complications. And I'm not taking sides, but I'm just saying that no common sense. No common sense in our society for people to understand this is what had happened. And this is what they predicted about COVID. COVID ain't over, but it's mutating. It's constantly mutating. It said it'll eventually become the flu. Just the flu that we have today, what they're saying is that's what the Spanish flu used to be. So if a historian is asked you, what did you do to combat this? What did you do? You know, um, I kept on wearing bad masks and washed, and now I'm kind of a germ. Even though I'm a funky ass, I'm kind of a germaphobe because of that. And now I'm thinking I need to start putting my mask back on. We're going on the cruise. I'm gonna have that mask at the ready, because one thing I've noticed on cruise ships, you got long lines, but there's a short line to wash your hands. Tell me that ain't scary. And and Charles, when we go back on the boat, just look and see when you go to because most of the boats have like a hand washing station. See if there's a line there. I might do like a little short video and time lapse it and see if anybody shows up to wash their hands. And it's funny how we before COVID we never thought about that. And like, look, you stinky, you nasty behind people. Even to this day, you buy a can of soda. Watch how that person grabs that soda. So I nonchalantly, when I put my soda down, my soda can down, I put the reader forward of them. In other words, I'm telling you, don't grab the top of my can. Just run that reader off the thing, and I don't need a bag. I'll grab it myself. I don't need your stank behind hand on my stuff. And again, if a historian ever asked you, what would you say? What did you do? Was you ready for this? I think if I would have been working anywhere else, we would have went under. Nobody could say that they were really ready for what we seen, what we went through. People from my hometown were dropping like flies, left and right. A lot of people went through something. I was scared to death because I have asthma. It's somewhat under control. I only have complications during, the changing of the seasons. And as long as I keep myself, I'm like, man, what am I going to do? I don't know what I would do. They in the hospitals, they weren't letting you see your loved ones. They weren't letting you in. Did you see anybody? Did anybody in your family pass away because of these complications? You know, it was scary. I remember there's a big truck stop heading into Las Vegas, and on one side, and then there's casinos on the other side with uh, it's a roller coaster. I remember driving through there. I've never seen that place so barren in my life. You know, then we had people taking advantage and not paying their mortgage or whatever. Look, because it was mandated or whatever, and that's why and that's one of the reasons why we're in this housing whatever now, because those people for years they had to not they didn't get paid until that got lifted. Now they've run up the prices. Thank God we're in a home. That's why I like telling my wife, we ain't going. This is our forever home. We ain't going nowhere. That's why I got to keep putting stuff together, lifting up, and figuring this out, figuring that out. Mm-mm. Excuse me. We got to figure it out. You know. But it let me know, just like I think I seen Urban in here, to have something a prep, have something ready, just in case something new goes down. And I remember watching those preppers. One of the things is a global. One of the people they would always interview a new person. I'm saying I'm got this stuff set up for a global pandemic. Guess what? It came. And see, we be having these, you know, scientists be slicing and dicing stuff, but y'all don't need to be messing with. You know, you don't need to be messing with this mess. You know, but these are the things that happen. What would you tell a historian? What would you tell them that you went through, that you survived? You know, you seen the poor look on some of these people's faces in those two, you know, the two photos I showed. The look on some of these people's faces of dread and and fear. You know, I literally was afraid to go food shopping because when again I was in it through the whole thing, driving across the country in a new state, walking around, and you would have people block the whole aisle, and for me to, and me trying to be polite, not I wouldn't go in and say excuse me. Now I will like, hey, you're blocking the aisle. Can you move? And I at least say please. But I remember a lot of times I would go all the way around. And remember how they had with some of the supermarkets they had the arrows that you could only go one way, so get your stuff and keep it moving. Remember that? And I'm starting to see people wear masks again. Was you a man? You know, did you have a problem wearing a mask? Oh, it's a religious thing. What religion tells me? You tell me in the Quran. You tell me in the Bible. You tell me whatever that you can't put a mask on. Because all of these people that were giving all this bull crap stuff were the same people. I don't know. I'm just saying. You know, I'm just saying. You know, just think about it. And you got the, you know, especially, you know, and it was just the Trumpers, but we got the power to the I call them the power to the people. It's corrupt. I'm not taking the prick. They trying to kill us. They trying to give us the mark of the beast. Really? Oh, they're injecting us with microbots or whatever. I mean, I heard all that crap. And these are the same ones that caught COVID and now dead. Help me out. The misinformation. Yeah, they had to fast track it, but guess what? It was the same thing when they had to fast track. They had to fast track polio. They had to fast track the mumps and all of these other um, you know, all these other diseases that were just decimating countries. And it's funny how Africa is finally smartening up. It was like, look, when COVID went down, and Africa was one of the least places that stuff was going on, but they didn't forget. Remember how y'all wouldn't send us no vaccines, but now y'all want our gold, now y'all want our uranium, and they're like, nah, no, you got to pay full price. That 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 African leader that did the coup about the uranium or whatever. That was $8 a kilogram or $8 a gram or something like that. Did y'all know that same country imports tons of gold? That same country, and but they had what do you call it? Uh, Licenses for these mines. Well, guess what? That leader revoked them daggone things. Said, no, no, no. This is our goal. And you know, I'm not pro ed power to the people, but I think you know what, y'all needed to do that. You needed to do that. Stop giving these people the world. And most of the doctors that we have right now come from Africa or India. You know why the doctors are that a lot of things you don't realize. India is a caste system. If you stayed in India and then your mama was your daddy was a street sweeper, you had to be a street sweeper. But they could come over to the United States and be a doctor. Be you could be all that you can be, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I would have started doing just like that. My man said, all you, uh, um, it was one of the African leaders come back home, and I hope that they come back home and start protecting their own. What would you say? How did you survive? You got a lot of folks who grew their own stuff, and we stayed to ourselves. I remember we were invited by Charles and his family to go on to do staycations. And I remember we all got together and went up to the mountains and just had a ball. And we went and that was the first time we went. We had our masks and everything, and I had our hands wiped, and we went zip lining after a freaking snowstorm. So yeah, I was on crack. And Charles tell you that they had rented places down in Florida. We went to Destin in the middle of the pandemic, stayed to ourselves and walked along the beach. And what did you do during these years that we went through this? What would you say to the next person? Because some of us are going to be around when the grandkids say, "Hey, I'm learning about the pandemic." What did you learn? Did you go through anything during that? Because the sad part is we don't talk to our elders to learn what did they go through. I didn't find out till my father almost passed that he was 82nd Airborne. We didn't talk, and that was like one of the biggest regrets of my life. We don't talk to grandpa and grandma. We just can't wait till they go to see if they left us anything. We don't talk to anybody that's been through something because we know everything. I don't need to learn nothing from nobody. I don't need to learn home remedies. I don't need to learn nothing that's going to strengthen my immune system. You know what I'm saying? That's going to strengthen my immune system. Excuse me, I need to move over here. Concentrate. And we learned that the global economy affects us more than we think. That a good percentage, even though we worrying about China invading all of these countries, a good percentage of all of our products come from China. So if we go to war, we ain't gonna have an Apple iPhone. If we go to war, we ain't gonna have, an umbrella or had 90% of this stuff in Walmart. I mean, yeah, I'm all over the place, but that's y'all come to the page and see why. Hey, yeah, we all over the place. But what did you go through? How did you handle the fear of knowing, hey, I might not make it? How did you make the choice to get, a shot or a booster shot or whatever? Because you're hearing all of this stuff. I don't know. The booster shots making people What did Nicki Minaj said? It made my cousin's nuts grow big. Really? Y'all gonna listen to that? I'm just saying. What did you go through? I know I went through a lot of fear. I remember, we'd be in public. I remember Norma came in me. I forgot where did she. Oh, she came on the road with me one time, and one person was coughing, and that wet cough. We were somewhere in Missouri at a Walmart, and the guy was just coughing all over. This is dead center middle of COVID, not covering his mouth and spraying spit everywhere. I literally grabbed her by her shoulder and said, "No, we're out of here." But I get, well, we're getting it somewhere else. Nasty behind people, nasty behind. It was just so. I was just so disgusted in watching people not washing their hands, watching people cough and spit, and wondering why this stuff ain't go away. You know what I mean? It's just unbelievable. What would you have said? How did you survive? Did you stay by yourself? Did you go around family? Did you hunker down? Did you hunker down? You know what I mean? I didn't go around my parents because I know they was with an immunocompromised. But I'm looking on Facebook and all these ninjas were around my father laying in his hospital bed. I'm like, what in Sam Hill? And none of them had masks on. And my father looking he was so thin, it looked like a crackhead. You know, what did you do? Did you use any common sense, or you just lived your life? Because the people that just lived their life, oh, I've had COVID 3 times. My wife had went down. It was a few months ago. I'd have been so irate. She went down and to help someone, to help the company, and turns out that the person, that was in the office had COVID, knew they had COVID, but just went and had made it sure. I'd been like, look, I can't afford not to be here. I'm gonna be over in this corner with my mask on until I find out I got COVID. Do you see what I'm saying? Something just common sense. So okay, all right, as long as I appreciate you telling me. I'm gonna be over here. I cannot afford not to come in. You know what I'm saying? Just something simple, like showing them respect. I can't. And then she got the message and then left, knowing, oh, I got COVID. And she told me, and everybody in the office was scared, so they all had to go get whatever. Do you see what I'm saying? And you was hearing about this over and over and over. People being sick, having COVID, not telling nobody. Was you mad? Was you fearful? Was you suspicious of folks? Like, did everybody have COVID? Do you me? As soon as I heard you cough, yeah, you had COVID. I don't trust you. I remember I couldn't even be seen by the doctor because I have asthma, and every once in a while, because I have asthma, I have what's called an asthma cough. I told the lady I was coughing. I said, my asthma's acting up. I'm coughing. You need to go take a COVID test. I'm not sick. I'm just coughing. I don't have a temperature. I'm not sick. It's not COVID. It's my asthma. It was right during the change of the season. I knew it. I literally had to get on a cruise, go out of the country, and get albuterol and prednisone from a pharmacy out of the freaking country. Tell me how stupid that is. And the swelling in my chest finally went down so I can start breathing. What did you do? How did you survive? Was you paranoid? Was you trying to figure out what could you do? Was you looking for home remedies? Was you the first one in line when they were giving out the shots, or did you say, "Wait, I'm gonna wait a little bit. I'm gonna wait after the first round, just in case, if people start growing horns on their head and a tail out their butt." You know what I'm saying? What did you do? You know what precautions did you take when you came to work? Did you come to work and spray everything down with Lysol that kills 99% of your germs? Was you looking for alcohol and aloe vera to make a sanitizer? And everybody bought all the sanitizer. You remember that? Remember that? What what precautions did you take? What can you say now? Can you say now that I made it through? Can you be proud of yourself, or was you just as paranoid as I was? I was paranoid. I mean, you even look at me wrong. Hey, all right, get away from me. You got COVID. Ah, Jesus. Hey, I see Odoms and they Odom. Even now, what are you doing? What are you doing to keep yourself safe? You know what I mean? I thank God for the friends I got because I probably my head would have exploded if we didn't get invited out and hey come over and hang with us. We do this, do that, blah blah blah. My head would have exploded, you know. But being a homebody or whatever, I really wasn't looking to go to the clubs anyway. In the club, blah blah blah. But no, no, not really. But the good thing about it is I invested in cruise ship stocks that tanked all the way to the $8. Now if they ever go back up to into the $50 range, I'll have about somewhere around, let's see, about $20,000 worth of stocks at that point. If they even get close to the $50 range again, and I'm still gonna buy them. I'm still buying those shares um until they get back in the $50 range. You know what I mean? Hey, nothing wrong with that. Oh boy, the sun's coming up, but boy, it can't be up no faster than this. This mess for the birds, y'all. But what advice would you give to the next generation? Would it be an advice? Would it be uh, criticism? Would it be instructive criticism? Would it be advice of to stay vigilant because what happened to us can happen again? What advice would you give to the next generation? Because boy, they seem to be going to be dumb as a box of rocks at this point. and that's sad. Would you tell the next generation stay in shape, keep your immune system up? What would you do? What would you say? Yeah, I see one of them. Like I said, I can barely stay prepared. Have something. Right now, I bought some stuff in number 10 cans, but guess what? It says it'll last 22 years. I'll be 70, what, 76 by the time that stuff go bad. I'm gonna get some more stuff. Be prepared. Yeah, you're right. Be ever vigilant. Have something. Some preppers have what they call a bug out bag, just in case the stuff get bad here. We can I can throw this stuff in the car and we could take off to go here or to go there. There's places in not Wyoming, but Charles knows where they at. They're underground caves that's that's storehouses for food. If all heck broke loose, they're in I forgot where where Charles knows what I'm talking about because he goes there all the time. You actually drive your truck down into a cave. Oh, it's in Missouri. It's in Missouri. They're in Missouri. That's one thing about knowing about being an over the road trucker, especially you know where storehouses are, the caches of stuff and things like that. Um, be prepared. If I could give advice to the next generation or a historian, we were not prepared for this. It's funny. I was in an area last no not last night but the night before last. I was in an area that didn't have cell phone service, real low cell phone service, and I was going through it. I was going through it because I could not get online. I can do, and I was like, wait a minute. I'm going through it because I didn't have YouTube service. I couldn't search online. I couldn't do nothing like that. I said, you know what? I said to myself, you know what, Ninja, take your behind the bed. And I just laughed and giggled. I said, man, let me go to bed because I didn't have cell phone service. We so spoiled. Remember before all of this, you had AOL and you heard that Dom. We didn't have this instant gratification of talking to people from all over the country, looking at my dumb behind driving a truck. We didn't have this. You had to dial in. And by the time you was up all night on America Online, AOL. Remember them? Remember them? you know, we're so spread out that we've kind of fallen away from the basic survival instincts that our forefathers had. If someone gave you a hunting rifle, other than Jags I know Charles, he will kill it. But do any of us know how to um, dress dress an animal? What do you mean by dress? After you shoot them, you got to clean it up. You can't just let them sit there. that the meat will go bad in certain ways if you don't cut certain things out of the animal. Are we prepared to go that route? A lot of us ain't. Are you prepared to eat roadkill or a raccoon, a possum, or if something really bad and you ran out of food? We can last a long time without food, but can't last a long time without water. I know literally right under my neighbor's yard, if something went down, we'd start drilling under his yard. He said he had a geologist come through and let him know there's underground water river over there. So if something went down, I know I haven't went. He said there's sinkholes behind my other neighbor's yard because the guy fell into one almost as tall as him. So and deer go through there, so they must know where the water's at. Something like that. Are we prepared? Were you prepared to survive if everything went dark? Were you prepared to handle things, or was you prepared to make a run on the supermarkets because everybody was? And one of my first YouTube videos was, surviving the supermarkets and seeing how it was empty. And I think it was Sam's Club or something like that. We could laugh and giggle, but guess what? A light bulb went off in my mind that hey, when I get a chance, I'm gonna buy some more dehydrated canned goods. That specific stuff. The price of MREs went through the roof. They used to be cheap, dirt cheap. All you needed was one MRE a day. That's 3,000 calories right there, and it would plug you up. Ex-military, y'all, we know what that MRE is. But was you ready? What could you say or tell to tell the story how you made it through? What could you have said? And I'm gonna put it back up just for a minute so you can see, because really nobody was in here when I did it. Just like these people survived. Every one of them didn't die. Every one of them 100 years ago wasn't saying that it was a conspiracy theory, but they were afraid. They were looking. They were trying to figure out what can I do to survive to get to the next thing. What can I do to survive to get to the next situation? What can I do? Are we going to make it through this? And not ancestors, but their descendants are probably walking around today. You know what I'm saying? Their descendants are probably walking around today. Everything is in a government conspiracy, guys. But some of this stuff is nature and God trying to correct some of the, whatever, you know. And these things happen. I have no idea why they happen, but these things happen. And I'm happy I made it through. I remember, I didn't want to say it, but I was scared to death for a long time. I don't like, we laugh about it and hold on. You know, this I didn't have a portable toilet for a long time. But the fact is that I started thinking, you got hundreds of stanky, nasty behind truck drivers putting they COVID behinds booties on seats at the truck stoppers. I just really was not the one to put my butt on this stuff. And I'm telling you, I've seen some nasty behind bathrooms, and I was just afraid. And I'm working on that, but COVID still ain't over. But I keep that toilet still. I still have it on the truck. You know what I'm saying? We make a joke about it, but it's still reality. What did you do to ease your fears to keep surviving? What did you do to ease your fears to keep moving forward? What did you do to ease your fears to lead your family through this this situation that we went through? And then the domino effect of that is, now it's high apartments and people were moving out of apartments into homes, and the price of homes went up, and people moved that. Now the price of homes done went through the roof. Now the apartments it was a domino effect, and we're paying for it now. What did you do, or what are you doing to affect or help your lifestyle or your family get through? And that's why, like I said, the point of the subject was, what would you tell a historian, maybe a family historian, or someone that was writing a book, or writing maybe a movie or whatever? Because a lot of times these movies are made from stuff that's happened, or stuff that we've all went through. What did you do? What did you do, or what are you doing right now to say, hey, I got caught with my pants down, but never again? You know, we have a lot of homesteaders on these YouTube streets that can vegetables and prep and know how to grow. You know, what did you do to set yourself up to survive and to survive now? Because we've got governments and scientists that what are they doing? They're splicing this gene or that gene or some old crazy mess. What's going to be next? They got monkeypox. What the hell is monkeypox? I mean, just stuff that's mutating because we're playing God. We take this certain fruits and vegetables they're splicing and dicing. I didn't even realize that true bananas got seeds in them. The yellow banana we got now is a hybrid. That a lot of the banana population has been decimated. And the same thing, we're just getting over it was like a chicken pandemic. That's why the price of eggs went through the roof, because thousands and thousands of chickens had to be killed. They found one avian flu in a chicken on the farm. The whole farm had to be euthanized. Y'all didn't even know that. They're just raising the price of chickens. No, the whole farm had to be euthanized. And you wonder why stuff was going on. See, you just think we just think it's humans. Animals, it happens to animals too. What did you do to survive? What are you doing now? What are you thinking about for the future? I didn't think, I'd even have this subject because at the point of when we're going through it and driving through towns decimated, no one coming out, and I had to keep on working through the whole thing. And I was afraid I was going to lose my job. Well, what were we going to do? We could get kicked out of our homes and so forth and so on. What did you do to survive? And by the grace of God, I made it. By the grace of God, you guys made it. Scary thought, scary situation, but you made it through. You made it to the next level. What level is that? I have no idea. But you made it through the next level. You know. Let's see what. I got to go back and read this one. This probably worth the comments were worth reading, but like I said, it was just something that was on my mind that I thought I'd bring up and we talk about. Guys, thank y'all for coming in. Thank you for being a part of this live. Um, you guys make this mess addicting, and I'm very appreciative. Again, I don't know what I'm talking about. It just I like to talk and just bring up certain things and see if we could just have a conversation about it. You know what I mean? And if anybody comes in on the remix, thank you for being a part of this live. And when y'all get, I'll get a chance. We gonna be living it up all week, even into the weekend. Just try. We here at Can't Stop Walking but Love Mowing and Cruising and Trucking and Loving and Family Life and Lives and all this other mess. We just trying to find our way on these YouTube streets. We're trying to find our niche on these YouTube streets. Thank you for being a part of this niche. Thank you for being a part of this conversation. And if we could do anything to help or promote you, share you out, share us out, like, subscribe, whatever you can do, help a brother out. Urban was in here. Urban, I did a no. I thought it was somebody new. I was just delirious this morning to pop up. I let some stranger in there, and I looked and said, I don't know you. And I'm happy they dropped off because I was trying to figure I was gonna pull over, but I was driving. And I was like, I don't know you. They were trying to, hey, they were trying to mess and let me come back up. No, nah, player. I did that one mistake. That was my mistake, my boo boo, my bad. Hey, Tamika. Hey, check out Wellness with Frugal Mama. She coming up next. Listen to that. The affirmations. And there's times that in these times we need to have affirmations. We need an encouraging word. Just know you're a badass motherfucker, and you'll make it. You just got to know you'll make it, and know that no one can get in your way because you're a wonderful. You're a wonderful son of a what. And I know that ain't Christian to be saying, but hey, you're a wonderful son of a bitch, and God loves you just like I love you too. Y'all be blessed and have a decent morning, and we'll see you tomorrow. Deuces. Really?